evening, everybody. Welcome to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans. Right here, YouTube, Twitch, with Truck, Alicia. We're throwing it back 40 years to 1984 for a special.
Wait, what? How many years?
40 years. Almost. Yeah, 40 years.
Oh my God.
Almost 40 years to 1984.
Oh my God.
So,
I just realized
we're
that.
throwing it back here.
I just realized how old I was.
Yeah, it's pretty much our age.
Shit.
So we're going way back to where we're wee little snappers, as our great announcers are going to tell us. But we're going way back here in the Wayback Machine for the second Throwback Throwdown from the IPWF, the Impact Provincial Wrestling Federation. One of my favorites. Hopefully all yours too. I feel like I was there at the first one. Sadly, I don't feel like I was there as much this one, but still a fantastic show for sure. So we'll definitely go over it. This is replacing the normal Patreon family dinner. So for all of our Patreons, once again, thanks to all of you for supporting us and being here for this. Obviously, we're near the holidays, so this is a freebie for everybody. Plus, it's also a review of something a little different tonight, which would have been the hot topic anyway. So we want to give everybody the talk about this. So luckily, we have some people here. I know we haven't seen Truck in a while. It's great to see Truck again. But I know, Truck, you actually now, and you got to remind me because I was all over the place. In the Discord, this was actually streamed. So was this streamed in the for everybody in the watch along, or was this in the Patreon? This was everybody. Okay.
Yeah, this was everybody.
Another reason to join the Discord. Hopefully everybody here is in the Discord. So no excuses not to see this show.
Yeah, we show the specials, we show the weekly episodes if I'm available.
Yes.
And actually, if you're not on the Discord already and you want to get on the Discord, now's a good time to do it, because since ROH has wrapped up, I'm looking for a new second promotion to start streaming in there on a regular basis. So if following NWA, MLW, or New Japan Strong is interesting to you, now's a good time to join the Discord, because we're going to be doing that in the new year.
Okay. And there's
right
definitely
now, nobody's interested in MLW.
Impact. Yeah. MLW is the least connected to Impact right now, obviously. There's NWA storylines. There's a lot of New Japan Strong storylines going on right now. So they make a lot of sense. I'm in full agreement with you. Those seem like the ones to go with going forward. So definitely get in there. Make your voices heard. The community depends on what you say. So get in there for sure. But definitely let us know early impressions in the chat, what you thought of the Throwdown. And then as we get through this, obviously we'll be reviewing the show, but this is a different type of show. We've done this for some other pay-per-views, a little different. We'll still go over matches, the segments, but just like the family dinner, that's also the Q&A show. So feel free to throw some stuff in there. And as we get through the review, we either take them or at the end, we'll go over a few questions. So let's kick it off. Oh, thank you, Brian Field, for the super sticker. Always appreciate it. Bam. Oh, rip Duke Winchester. Oh, no, yeah, it's very sad, very sad.
We don't know he's dead. I'm going to talk.
Yeah, we don't know that.
We don't know he's dead.
Yeah, we thought Frank the Butcher was dead too, but he somehow he makes it. But speaking of Duke Winchester, there was, who would have thought, near 40 years ago, they were doing pre-shows for these things, and we get a pre-show, including a match. But we got to talk about these announcers first, because we get the return of Junior. Let me make sure I get his pronunciation right, because I can't. With Giovanni, correct? The great. And I want to make sure Giuseppe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. we get him, and we get Gord LaRue on color. Definitely. Oh, Courtney. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Courtney.
Oh my goodness.
Much appreciated.
Oh wow, Courtney, thank you.
That is huge. The support from the crew, unbelievable. The squad coming out heavy today. We appreciate it. So what a team. Oh yeah, here we go, Keith. You know who I'm supporting today. I'm all about that tag team, man. Those young up and comers. This shirt's been in storage for 40 years.
Everybody noticed that he was the only one who didn't switch gimmicks, right?
It's a great thing.
He didn't
it's a great
need to.
Thing.
He was active. This was probably his first year in the business.
Oh, you got Johnny Swinger. You got Matt. You got Mike Singer. It's fantastic. Road and Blue, Matt Striker was way better here than normal. And we will get into
who was Matt Striker?
He's Gord.
The interviewer?
The interviewer is going to blow your mind who the interviewer is.
Who's the That's been driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Do you still not know who the interviewer is?
I don't know who it is. I'm looking at him now and I don't know who it is.
Do you want to know?
Yes.
Well, it's going to be obvious. It's Steve.
Crazy Steve.
Crazy
Wait.
Steve. Look at the goggles. He makes sight jokes a couple of times.
Yeah, he does. He makes what he does there.
He's not even looking at who he's interviewing right now. Yes. Okay, I get it now. Are you serious? That's amazing.
The only thing you can tell is sometimes, like when he turns, you can tell his kind of profile, like a little bit. But that's he's fantastic.
Amazing. It's been driving me crazy the whole time because I'm like watching it right now. I finally got a chance to like tune into it, and it's amazing.
It is, and we will go over that because it is amazing. With just like the first one, how a lot of the talent was able to pull this off. It is, it is a sight to see. For sure, no doubt about it.
I just want to say before we get started that I really love this concept because it forces people out of their comfort zone, and they all nail it on the head. It's amazing.
Yeah, and you can tell the fun everybody's having during this show. And I know, and kudos to Ace Austin, who went on there, or Rip Rayzor, if I'd like to say, went on social media and said, like, if you're not going to have fun with anything, then like don't watch it. Like you don't need to don't hate watch. And I think a lot of the people that complain don't hate watch things. This is fun. Like I was at, I know I'm dating myself here, but I was at the first IPWF show up in the great
41 years ago.
I know, way back when. But that was a fan. Like I enjoyed it. Like obviously everyone looks, well, hey man, you don't know their wrestling persona, so how can you watch a show like that? It's fun. It's a one-off. It is fun, and they're having a great time. You can tell how much fun they're having. Sadly, Cowboy Colt McCoy couldn't make it. I know he had to be killing himself, and I loved all the in jokes on Muscles McKenzie. That was fantastic. Muscles McGee, got to get it right. And we'll get into it, but I know Truck is now a fan of somebody based on this show. So this shows you the total opposite of what people think.
I wish you hadn't seen that message.
Because there's a wrestler from a tag team in Impact that probably your most disliked thing in the promotion that you've now turned around on because of this persona.
I'm leaving the stream.
So we will get to him in a moment because let's go over the pre-show first because we do have a pre-show match. And it plays off well because they were doing this live 40 years ago, which was different than last time. It was taped. You could do editing and all that. So there was, I know, some audio issues, and you could talk about the streaming of it, but it almost can play off because of what it is. That like, oh yeah, technical difficulties. Okay.
There were people in the chat saying just that. Let all the technical difficulties. It just makes it more accurate. I couldn't get the pre-show to work. It was so accurate.
The audio was off.
Good job. The audio wasn't working for me, and the video kept cutting out. So I saw the ending of this match and nothing else. Yeah. So good job,
amazing.
Impact Plus. That's 100% accurate. On those old CCTV pay-per-views that you used to have to go to a movie theater to see. Yeah. Good job, guys. Yeah. No, but they got it fixed eventually.
They did. And it seems like by like the main show, it was pretty much good for the most part. Which
there was a couple of things, but nothing really major. And if that's
a couple of the throwing it back, which you would expect, like going from in the ring to outside the ring, that was a little tougher.
Especially because they changed venues entirely. Eh? They weren't in Vegas. They weren't in Nashville. Maybe some of the hiccups were just due to the fact that they're working in a new place and figuring it out as they go.
Really, and I'm sure they're depending a lot more on the Ohio Valley, the OVW crew for this show. But it was, Belle's Boy. I'm sorry if I missed that. Thank you for the super sticker, Belle's Boy. Very nice, very nice. But definitely, new setup. They haven't done it since you're talking pre the Panini, as everyone would like to say. Alicia
Pre-Panini. Brian Cage was part of the act, so it's been a hot minute since this has gone down.
But they haven't been to Louisville. They did that. They did a show there. They did a special there. But that's the only time they ever ran that arena. So definitely, a lot of people are. Obviously, we know one of our friends that now is a mustache referee is familiar with there. But it was it's an interesting venue for sure. But I think it works perfect, just like the Don Kolov Arena did the previous time. So they're using the right kind of venues to give off this old school studio wrestling feel. They're actually doing what I think. You don't try to do new studio wrestling, which I know promotions try. You do this. This is how I think it works.
This is good.
Because you get that old school feeling. Trying to do a new is very tough today, but definitely very interesting. So there we go. Yeah, Bonus Baby thought they were part of the show, which
it's like even the snow covered Christmas trees in the back, like
it was very
community theater decorations.
It looked like community theater, which it would have been back.
Yeah, exactly. It's so much nicer to look at, to be honest.
Was it an 800 or was it
Wonderland entrance?
IPWF. But call it. See what you get. Actually, don't do that. It could be bad.
It was a 1-900 number. I tried it. It doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. That's
not like
better.
when they gave out Moose's phone number and that was a shoot.
That was real. This
was fake. Yeah.
Hey, at least it's fake and didn't go anywhere as opposed to this.
I have seen that penis.
I still think that Moose phone thing was a burner phone.
Hey, that's commitment to a gimmick. That's commitment to
You'd hope so.
It's like, so he was able to just throw it out once people burned through the minutes.
So we'll get into the first match on the pre-show, the countdown to Blizzard Brawl 84, which is and presented by our good friends at Pabst Blue Ribbon. As some would say, the near beer, or as Truck. Are you enjoying some of that? Are you doing some Pabst as we speak?
I have non-alcoholic beer. I'm sorry. I literally, I really do have the near beer.
So you and your now good friend Sex Ferguson would agree. Oh, my bad. Winter War 84. Winter War 84. That sounds even better. It's been 40 years. You got to give me a little leeway here. So
memory's starting to go.
It's starting to go. It's been a long time.
He needs more fish oil.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. But so the opening match we get here is, what is it? It's Duke, right? It's Duke Winchester against the mysterious Mr. E. Now we do get, and we'll now first just initial impressions. We get to see somebody that looks very familiar to us, that we all know we're big fans of. Duke Winchester, I feel, will be a TNI favorite.
I think he's going to be a favorite everywhere.
Because you got to like Duke Winchester.
How could you not?
He's got the perm. It's the hairstyle. It's almost the future. In 1984, who could do hair like this?
He's definitely going to have a lineup of people wanting to go for a ride in his muscle car after the show. I know that for sure. Men and women lining up.
Well, sadly, we'll get into we do see him drive off in a car a little later, but we do see this match here against the mysterious mystery. Looks familiar. He looks like a guy from that era for sure. The mysterious mystery, mask on. He looks like he could have been in a stable with Congo Kong, who we saw at the last IPWF territory shows. So, but the Duke comes out on top here, which the fans love it. The fans are eating up Duke here. So, great way to kick off the pre-show. Get your parents' permission. Hopefully, you're able to buy the main show. But we see here, Truck is he's the parental guardian of all the people in the chat here, because you did provide it for all the kids in the chat.
I tried to.
We do it for the kids.
I tried to.
Do it for the kids. Good job.
Yeah, eventually it started working. I had a bit of a panic moment where I thought, how many times am I going to have to buy this before I can find a stream that works?
And Keith, yes, that was Shogun Jackson. He was Mysterious Mr. E. Sam Beal, one of our favorites, obviously. was on the other side there. So it was good to see him back in action. But we'll see that he gets the same results as he does on the main TV show shortly. But
has Sam been a TNI guest? Has he ever been on your show?
He has not. He has not.
Okay. He'd be a good.
Has he been in the chat? He's responded to tweets.
Yes.
He may have been in the chat before.
I feel like he has popped in.
Yeah, so he's been in the chat, but not on the actual show. So definitely that could be a maybe 2022 goal. But we have to get back on TV first. Well, maybe Duke Winchester.
Maybe Duke.
Maybe we get
and
to
that's
Duke
something
on.
too. Like at the end of this show, I see several characters that I think they could bring back without lampshading it too much.
And they've already done that. Let's not forget on Wrestle House 2, Downtown Daddy Brown is a current character now. He's got the gout, but he's a current character.
He has a cane. He didn't need it
He's
tonight,
got a cane and
apparently.
a gout, but he's
amazing.
So definitely, I'm with you on that, Truck. Because the thing is, there is personas here that you can definitely bring over.
You can work with.
Johnny Swinger, we already know that he's the perfect between, but there's definitely some entertainment value in a lot of this.
Yes.
And there's Lord Bison, he was enjoying it. We know a lot of people here were having a good time with this show, but great way to kick it off. Good to see Shogun since we hadn't seen him in a while in a role. And we'll see another guy later that's also like went under that like signed by Impact type thing a while back, but we haven't seen. But we do see him tonight, so this is going to be an interesting show for sure. But so that's pretty much the pre-show. It goes over the last throwdown. We do see Sonny. It was great to see Sonny in one of the pre-tapes, like all the different managing options. That was good to see. You had him in. Well, with the cane. Well, no, he had with the crutches. He had the crutches.
He was on crutches, yeah.
And then what was his name though? Jimmy Jacobs, but his character in the wheelchair.
I didn't catch his name.
Yeah, that I missed. I missed his name there. But like, so it was just great to see Sammy. Obviously, we're waiting to see him back full time, but it's great to get him involved in things like this for sure. So.
Yeah, I was hoping he would be. So. Go ahead.
Did you notice that when he came out, because he's doing a cornet thing, right?
Yeah.
He's just drenched in sweat. Yeah, he must
at first I wasn't sure. I'm like, is that him sweating or is that his gimmick? Then I'm like,
that's his gimmick. I'm sure that's his gimmick.
He's poured water bottle on his head.
Yeah, he must have done that on purpose because he hates that guy, right?
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
There's a lot.
So
of
he's gonna make him look like a goon.
I know what he was thinking.
Look at this dumbass.
Oh wait, there it was. Star Maker Sebastian Baker. There we go.
That's a good
Star
name.
Maker. It is.
That is a really good name. Why Jimmy shouldn't just be backstage? If Scott can be on camera, Jimmy can be on camera too.
He can. It depends.
Well, we do need someone to fill what's his name's role. So
Callus?
Yeah, as being an on-air
Scott.
Personality.
But
and I don't think Len Asper's up for it.
Len's not a TV guy. Ed Nordholm's not a TV guy. Like they're not looking for TV roles. Obviously
Jimmy
Scott
Jacobs
does, but Jimmy obviously very.
Imagine that, a billionaire who doesn't want to be on his own TV program. Imagine that.
Oh, imagine
that. A guy who just wants to
wanting
do his job.
I never.
Hold on, calm down, just breathe.
Well, speaking of, we're gonna get a appearance very shortly. Well, that pretty much ended the pre-show. We get into the main show. Starts off with a great, and this is it. Do we start off here, or do we have to wait to get in ring? This is where it begins for Truck. This is where there's ideas meeting. This is a great promo. Card subject to change. We get the Sex Ferguson cleaned up for TV as much as he could be. Cutting a promo.
That was cleaned up.
This is the cleaned up version. Well, if you see Talking Shop-A-Mania, this is cleaned
I have it. This was all new to me. That's why I was so shocked.
It was really funny.
So you might have to go back and watch Talking Shop-A-Mania as well, because if you like that, you'll probably like that as well, which is it goes a little bit off the rails, like our own show here. But It is entertaining for sure. And this is a great little.
Yeah.
Well, let's go over the initial vignette here from Sex Ferguson. So he starts it off. We get that. So we find out what the main event's gonna be. So he comes out, he cuts that promo, then he goes to the live crowd, and of course he's healing it up. He's going after Louisville. He's going off against the fans, saying he's not going to defend the TV title tonight. We saw during the pre-show, what was it? Julian Cumberbund lost it to Downtown Daddy Brown, but he didn't defeat it, but he got it off of Downtown Daddy Brown at some point. But then we find out a whole bunch of guys like the Cowboy couldn't make it. That Muscles McGee, we know there's problems, but we get the owner, operator of the IPWF, the old man of our play-by-play man. We get Guiseppe Senior. He comes out. He comes out and he's talking to Sex Ferguson. He doesn't like his name, but he's going to give him a main event match tonight. He's like, you got to, and he doesn't want any part of it. But who else for this show, Winter War 84, than Santa Claus himself? Santa Claus in the main event tonight. Coming out. He's got the back to give. Gord's going crazy, and how could you not? You get Santa Claus wrestling in the main event. I'll tell you, this is a coup. In 84, it doesn't get bigger than Santa Claus and Sex Ferguson main eventing a show.
Oh my God. Killing the business.
So my guess is this is where you got hooked now, Truck. Now you know.
Oh, it was his first promo. It was his first promo. It was his promo on that back road leading to the dump.
The back road. Okay.
That Dexter described as beautiful Louisville.
Beautiful Louisville.
That was a subtle joke, I'm sure. But yeah, that first promo, I was like, holy shit, this guy's really good. And that it burns me to admit and acknowledge that, but it's true.
See, that's big. Now that's saying a special like this to turn your impression.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, I'm sure he really cares about my opinion, but he's
I
brought me
don't
on
think
board
you're the
now.
only one that had that opinion.
It smells like beer, sweat, self-tanner, and baby oil, brother.
I'll tell you, they really built up that area, because if that was outside the OVW arena, I'd been at that arena, and it was very rural looking 40 years ago. It's very built up now. There's not that much farmland, so it was great to see. Oh, as Lord Bison would say, sex is the draw.
Sex is the draw. I didn't think I was going to enjoy sex, but I really did.
How can you not? Just like he says it. Everybody likes sex. So that was great to hear. Alicia, what was your thoughts on the opening promo with Guiseppe and Sex Ferguson?
I thought it was good. I zoned out a little bit, but otherwise it was really fun. I thought Sex Ferguson was really funny. I liked his opening lines. Very, very good. 2 thumbs up.
There you go. Now, very good way to start the show. We know our main event. And Giuseppe's just fantastic as well. I can't get over Giuseppe putting it all into it on this one. So we get to our first match up here. And it is also from Talking Shop, if you're familiar. Chad Too Bad versus, and we got to give credit to
Bill
Ding. But that's an in-joke from Disco Inferno. Glenn Gilbert.
Amazing.
He always said that was one of his ideas, was name a guy building, and they went off it on this one. And so that's
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that comes from the mind of one Glenn Gilbert, the name Bill Ding. So kudos to him. But that's obvious. So we got Trey Miguel as Bill Ding, who was also on the first one. But then we do have the debut of Chad Too Bad from the Talking Shop of Mania. So interesting thing here. Obviously, once again, you just had Sex Ferguson. Now, Truck, I'll go to you first on this one, because the Good Brothers usually are not favorites of yours. But I knew you liked Sex Ferguson. But how about Chad Too Bad? What did you think of Chad?
I enjoyed him as well. I think I probably would have enjoyed him even more if he had gotten to talk, but this was really good. I think what brought me around is that both of these characters are these guys performing at a high level while not taking themselves very seriously. And that for me was quite fun to watch. To me, the thing that I really don't like about the Good Brothers is they're like these high school guys who are super cool, too cool for school, but you're, pushing 40 guys. Come on. The glory days are past. Do something more interesting. And this was really interesting. So yeah, I might actually seek out Talkin' Shopomania.
Yeah.
There you go. How about you, Alicia? What do you think
and
here?
Karl is tremendously confident to be wearing that singlet in public.
Yeah.
All of these guys. They left
It's a
nothing to the
little
imagination.
like not Jeremy Borash, but more like Borat. That spandex, shall we say?
Did you notice either of you? Gord made a joke about it in this match.
No,
he made a joke about everything in every match.
He remarked that he did not know that Chad Too Bad is not a member of the Hebrew faith.
That is good.
It's amazing.
I'll tell you, Stryker was on fire. He was. I don't know how much he had scripted and how much was off the cuff, but he was good. And like a joke like that.
I didn't even realize that was Stryker.
I didn't recognize him at first either. Somebody in the chat told me it was him.
Everyone just did really excellent.
Yeah.
That was like everybody just did a great job, and it was very subtle. The opposite of like when the last time around we had Sexton Hardcastle, who was Don, very good in a different way, but and obviously I knew he wasn't going to be here for this one. So the color man, I didn't know who was going to be, but this was a very good way to do it, and he exceeded expectations. For hockey fans, you must have had a field day for this, because the number of hockey players he references during this he must reference about 50 hockey players over the course.
It was constant. He was naming guys I hadn't heard of, and
they were all from the right era. Like he was timing it right. Like for Philly, he did do a Tim Kerr reference, but a lot of Canadian team references, obviously.
He talked about how he hates the expansion, which, yep, 100%, right there with you, Gordon. Terrible idea.
So it was good. And then just because this was on the Ultimate Insider and on Impact Plus, I know it's on the Ultimate Insider replay. I'm not positive it's on. I would imagine it's on Plus by now.
It is on Plus, but it's set up in a way that you think that it's not. The file is there, and when you start it, it starts off by playing the main event from the first.
Because that was on the pre-show.
Because that was on the pre-show. So you think that you're watching the old one, but you're watching the new one. You just have to wait or skip ahead. It's there.
Yeah, skip ahead because it's probably listed at what, about 3.5 hours, just under 3.5 hours. Yes. Get to close to the 3 hour, like go get a half hour in, and you're good.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I gotta clean up stuff. Oh, we just lost Truck.
Yeah.
Truck, where'd you go? Here. All right.
Oh boy.
Oh, wait, we got Truck back. There he is. Hold on.
I'm also in 1984.
Yeah.
Broadcasting live.
All right. Here, hold on. All right. I'm just cleaning up stuff while we're doing this.
I see this, yeah. You know you're getting popular when you track the bots. So good job.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, everyone wants to get involved in the throwback, and who knows? But so, all right. So now you know where everyone can find it, and it's up and running on both of them now. It's on Plus. Thanks, Lord Bison, confirming. Truck letting us know how to do it. So we're good. So now back on to the show. So the winner is Chad Too Bad in this match. So poor building and his he did have his
impressive
measuring tape. Yeah, he had measurements going on here. Driving the fans wild with his measurements. But
really
sadly,
quite unbelievable. If you're gonna lie, you gotta keep it believable, Bill.
You gotta get into it. And that's the real credit to everybody on this show is the commitment to gimmick. And you love to see it, and they definitely did it here. They did it last time great. That's why I got to imagine anyone that had anything negative to say just didn't watch the show. Or they don't watch Impact. Like, it was more the idea, the concept that they like the rip than actually the execution, though. It's fantastic. They're the same ones that don't like Wrestle Else either, so we know who they are. Oh, that's what you're saying, Lord. You're saying we got to blame the Good Brothers once again.
I'm fine with that. I'm going to go back to that on Thursdays, I promise you.
Blame the Good Brothers. Blame the Good Brothers. Why not? All right. So we go from that one to, and he wins by pinfall, which he had to do. But once again, kudos to Chad Too Bad. So we go backstage to our favorite announcer. Now I like need him all the time backstage with Santa Claus, with the Santa Claus. And he's talking about the match, but he does end it by saying "Daddy," which gets our interviewer thinking, why'd he say "Daddy"? I don't know. He's wearing a mask. When you wear a mask, you can't tell who anybody is. This is 1984. I think that went all the way to about 2004. If you put a mask on somebody, you can't tell who he is, brother. But as the cat there, look at that fluffy cat. Well, what did you think of this promo from Santa Claus, and what's it making you think about the main event coming up? Alicia, what are your thoughts on this promo and the guy that somehow turns out to be Crazy Steve doing this interviewing here? He's a natural.
I'm so blown away. It didn't connect the dots with that.
I think he's a future in this business.
I feel like there was something sneaky about that Santa. He was setting some things up for later on. What do you think, Truck?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. That was Santa Claus.
Yeah. Well, you're from up north. You would know.
I would know. I saw him today at the Town and Country Ball. I asked him about, congratulations on your title win. And he was, thanks, Cody. It was what I wanted for Christmas, so I gave it to myself. Thanks, Truck.
Well, as long as he wasn't telling you
that. Got hair on your booty cheeks.
You would know too much, Santa Claus.
Is that your favorite soundbite?
I don't know. I'm not sure what my favorite soundbite. There's a lot of soundbites I like, but that's up there. It's up there. But we'll go through some more as we go along. But definitely, yeah, that's right. People need to get a sense of humor. A lot of people there, people hopping in. Thanks for jumping in, everybody, on this Sunday night as we go over a little throwback throwdown for family dinner. So we did just get the backstage, which was very interesting. But now we also get a music video.
Oh, this was a blast from the past.
Which the Rhythmic Warriors, and I'll tell you, somehow I forgot about this. This had to be a hit single back in the day. This was great, the Rhythmic Warriors. And then you got it looked like maybe the style, the inspiration at Swingers Palace for the Swingerellas. Like, I honestly, I think they could go after Robert Palmer for gimmick infringement, because I think he used that similar setup in his music videos years later. So this was fantastic once again. These guys, the Swing Man has always been a legend. He just showed it. The Rhythmic Warriors, I got to get that on my phone. I don't know. Can the 8-tracks? Can they come over? Because I gotta get that downloaded. It was fantastic. What were your thoughts on the Rhythmic Warriors, Alicia?
I missed it.
Oh no! I would say I'd play it now, but we know we'd get taken down.
I was just zooming. I was just trying to zoom through to get to the matches, so a lot of the in-between stuff, I was just kind of like, I was listening. I watched most of this in 2x speed, so I'll do the best I can. Speed, and now it's at regular speed.
It was good to see Singer, or if you remember, Action Mike Jackson.
Oh, of course. I've seen him wrestle live.
Now
Mikey Singer?
Mikey Singer was fantastic.
Couple of times.
Somehow he gets older and doesn't. At this point, he just doesn't age. Well, this is fake wrestling news here. We'll get to this match later, but that is fake wrestling news for sure, T. Hughes. But we'll go over that. I did see someone put that out there. That is just horrendous news. But yeah, he is the Young Buck, was in this match, the Young Buck. But what a tag team! What a tag team!
The Sunday Morning Express.
Oh, and then the Sunday Morning Express. Once again, the editor-in-chief was fantastic. This guy just keeps killing promos no matter what they are. And he does it here again. Now, I have seen the Ace Reporter. He's an OVW guy. I can't tell you his name now. When I was at OVW, I saw him in a match. So like a Daniel Spencer, like they would know, obviously the guys on the roster all know, but they don't do a great job of saying like who's on their roster, since I think there's a lot of fluctuation other than the main guys. So it's very tough. I probably have to look through. I know he was on a show I was at last time I was there, so I'd have to go to that date, go through the card, and start figuring it out. But that is not ACH at all. So that was just that's not even close. That was bad, but definitely a good match. I would even dare to say,
I love this match.
I
Agreed. Yeah, Sabin said it best.
well, Sabin, he's always right. But what was Truck? What did you think of this match?
Oh, I thought it was great. Yeah.
New school, double new
school. Mikey Singer. He's an example for us all, eh? Like, how old is he at this point?
Wow, he's got to be close to 80.
Yeah, he was in the
He was 75 last time I saw him wrestle. So,
yeah, what an example. Yeah, like that walk on the ropes thing. I know, you're holding on to somebody, but I couldn't do that. I don't think.
No, you still got to have some semblance of balance.
And he hits, this move where he could have suicided himself. I've, never seen that before.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a gourd commentary, right? He could have suicided himself.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy just gives her.
So, but no, it was a great match.
I want to know who Ace Reporter is because I liked him. He grabbed my attention.
I will find out that name because, like I said, he was on OVW. I'm sure he's done some other indie work. Because he looked not that much different because I could tell by like the knee pads he was wearing because that stood out to me when I saw him last time. But he was on like the pre-show for because they do like their local TV and their main show. So they do like 2 hours normally at OVW, but he was on the one show. So I'll have to find out who that was. But kudos. There was a few people from OVW, obviously their ring announcer and like a couple of their other guys. Al Snow, we'll talk about. He makes an appearance.
Dr. Snow.
So there was, Dr. Snow.
Dr. Snow and the origin of Dr. Ross.
So we do get a little bit of that, but who knows? Maybe that's somebody they'll give a shot to. And we know that Gia has been wrestling there. So technically we see her debut later.
I was going to say, speaking of Gia, we get to see her in ring.
So, well, we'll get to that because we were about to see her right now after the Rhythmic Warriors hit the double schoolboy or the stereo schoolboy, as Gord calls it. So then we get the next matchup, which is, once again, Rip Rayzor, but now he has a valet, Rusty Iron, against Frank the Butcher, who we just got in a promo at the first one. He didn't have a match at the first Throwdown. So it was good to see Frank the Butcher here in IPWF action.
He had quite a night.
Which I almost feel bad because I was technically already committed to another show 40 years ago from last Saturday, from yesterday. So I was going to see Rhino, who I think might be related at some point to that Frank the Butcher guy. They look similar.
Uncanny.
It is it's very uncanny. Just taking care of that. All right, so I did that, and then, but he was in this, but he had a tough night. There's no doubt he had a tough night.
Yeah,
he's really earning that $20.
Yeah, not
handshake and a hot dog.
And for a butcher, the hot dog ain't the quality of meat he's looking for. He's got the good stuff. So we get the match here with Rip Rayzor, and this was good. This was another good match, but man, the ending. Ooh, This is violent.
That was unexpected.
So what would you think of this, bro? What did you think of this? Because this was shocking.
It was startling. If I was there live, I don't know how I would have reacted. That was a shock. I got to thinking afterwards, nobody's actually died in Impact this year. There's been a couple of attempted murders.
It tends to happen.
Yeah, I figured, they're looking and like, oh my goodness, we're 15 days away from the end of the year. We got to knock some people off here. So
yeah,
and no repercussions.
What did he do? What did he do?
What did he deserve that?
No, what did Ace do?
He cut Frank the Butcher's throat with a razor blade.
Okay, there you go.
In the ring.
He went Sweeney Todd on him.
Oh wow! Well,
to stop him. The police weren't called. He just gets to walk out of the building unhindered.
1984, man, it was a different era.
Yeah,
Laws were way cooler back then.
Oh, there we go. As Justin says, rusty iron was shiny iron until Rip Rayzor came into the picture, according to Gord. See, Gord's giving us all this.
That's funny.
Gord deserves a contract.
Yes.
He's a little up there now, but he's entertaining for sure. I want more Gord. So
there was a lot of blood.
Yeah,
there was a lot of blood.
Yeah.
But then we see what happens after he wins the battle, but the war goes to Rip here. So we'll see what happens. You get some people. We'll go over what has to happen here, but it gets a little crazy. We go backstage again to Dexter Petticoat, my favorite
announcer of the year.
Yeah, and I have it somewhere. I think I actually have a vintage Rough Riders T-shirt somewhere. But we get Georgia Cobb talking about the Rough Riders, the downfall, and that Ladybird Johnston, who was the problem here. But then she attacks her from behind. And we go right to the match. We get now just a solo Rough Rider, Georgia Cobb, versus Ladybird Johnston. And how about that freaking Georgia Cobb, man? She looks ready to right out of the 80s, looking to just she could have been in Glow.
Yeah, absolutely. She looked really good.
Like that's a good look for the Rough Riders. Different than before. Like they were all about the jeans and stuff. The Rough Riders about 41 years ago. Now they're mixing it up a little bit. But this is definitely you get a beating match here. Like they're this is the slobber knocker of the evening between these two. There's definitely some issues going on between who we know has some similarities of Jordynne Grace and Havok, which can't go wrong in a match like this. Sad that the Rough Riders broke up, but a good match here for sure. Alicia, our first ladies match of the night. What did you think of this one?
They're not
as far as the Rough Riders breaking up, as they all say, all good things must come to an end. They're missing quite a few components of their original team.
Yeah, Blanche fell off a scaffold, as Critical Sting said. That's how Blanche was talked off.
Both of the others met violent ends, it sounded like.
Yeah, because Alexis wasn't there either.
No.
So, I was going to say, so interesting tidbit. So I don't know if you caught the Ladybird Johnston's last name, which in real life would be Sammy's last name in real life. So I love that little reference to their engagement. Yeah, so it was fun. It's like the match. I always like when these two wrestle, and so whether it's in this format or in their original, it's just great. It's a good time. They really know how to throw it down.
Now, Truck, what are your thoughts on this match? Rough Riders collide.
Gord had one of his best calls of the night during this match. Something about a sticky situation, which if you watch the match, you remember which segment that's referring to. He cracked himself up a couple of times during the night. I can't remember if this was one of them, but yeah. Apparently the two segments, and if you watch the match, you know what I'm talking about. The two segments that occurred, one with Havok in control, one with Grace in control. Apparently they got in trouble about those after the fact. They didn't tell anybody they were going to do them.
Wow, okay. You gotta like that.
Kick out of.
IPWF, anything goes in the IPWF.
Anything goes, yeah. Before TV ratings, so no rules. That's why you can kill a man in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, slit his throat right on national television. Public access. Yo, public access was the shit back in the day. Kids these days will never know.
Well, the violence almost continued. It almost continued into this match because she tried to use a tire iron. But luckily, the referee, he stopped.
1984, man. Cocaine was a hell of a drug.
I think it's a hell of a drug in some other promotions right now.
One other thing that really stood out to me is at one point, Ladybird takes Georgia up for a back body drop or something like that. Just no hesitation in picking her up. Grace gets a lot of attention for her powerlifting, and rightly so. She's setting records. That's fantastic. Havok to pull off something like that with just, like picking up a bag of groceries. My God, that woman is strong.
Hell yes, she is.
Yeah, that is cool.
She wrestles men. Come on, she's awesome.
Yeah.
That's why I want to see her in the main championship run at some point, because like she's one of our strongest like athletes, her and Jordynne, and they're kind of Jordynne's doing really good right now, but Havok's just kind of in that. I like what she's doing. Don't get me wrong, but I just want to see her with a strong solo run with a belt.
There you go. Well, they're definitely doing stuff like this, adding to the character. I think could definitely give those thoughts, because then you can see a different side of some performers that you don't get to see. So I'm with you on that. I think we're all big Havok fans here, and Ladybird Johnston. So we go from that, we go backstage again, and this is where we get to see one of our good friends. But so this is the violence still. You get Orderly Ross instructed to give Frank the Butcher an emergency tracheometry.
Oh God, yeah, this is wild.
We got to see how that will work out. But then we get someone we haven't seen before, almost like the Kiss Demon, but instead of the Kiss Demon, it's more like the Star Child, Quincy Cosmos.
Oh God,
I love that name.
Who steals the necklace of Giuseppe Scovelli Sr. here? Which, how dare he do that?
How dare he? How dare he?
So, as soon as that happens, we go back to commentary, and Junior Giuseppe Scovelli, he's going to defend the old man's honor and fight Quincy Cosmos in a match right now. And so this is, I think there might be a couple other TNI fans out there that are the GOAT, Giuseppe Jr., otherwise known as Josh Matthews, back in action for the first time in a long time.
Was he tough enough?
Oh, he's always tough enough. But he looked good here. And then
he did a good job.
And Quincy, we're all big fans of Quincy. He's probably the biggest fan of the show, friend of the show that we got. He looked great here. So this was a perfect match. If I knew Josh was coming back, which I may or may not have known, that's about as good an opponent I could have picked off the roster for him. And I thought I enjoyed this. Obviously, it wasn't a long match, but it was a fun little match there. Truck, what is your thoughts on this match?
Josh was giving her. Yeah, he threw himself into absolutely everything he did. And he actually tweeted the next day about how much pain he was in. So he was committing. And Rohit, Hakeem, Quincy. I hope that we see Quincy again, because I really liked what he was doing there. He was one of the people who, when he came out, I didn't recognize him at first.
No, he played it like he had the accent. He did a good job. He went with
and he had the hair in his face too, so it wasn't immediately obvious. But
I did like how he removed the hair.
Yeah,
for wrestling.
The jumpsuit was a good look for it, because the V really shows off his physique. That was a good one.
You may have learned something there. Alicia, thoughts on this one?
I don't know. Quincy was just a character. I never thought I would have ever seen Rohit play, and to see him rock it the way he did, it was really good. Yeah, it was very enjoyable. This was fun. It was good to see Josh back in the ring, and these two really had a great time. It seemed like so. Right on.
and Justin, I did see this in the Discord. I was being mentioned when he decided to wrestle a match because in Vegas. I did briefly speak to him, and he let me know that he was going to be doing this match. So I was like, oh, man. But as I said, I was already committed to something else. But it was great to see him back. I'm hoping that's not the last time. I hope, not all the time, but from time to time with maybe opportunities like this, he still gets in there and gets a little bit in the tumbling. Great to see.
He's probably not feeling like doing it again today, though.
No, right now he's probably like, yeah, I'll wait another 5 years. Because what was the last time? During the Grand Championship era when he was doing some wrestling. So that was a while back. That was probably 2016, 17-ish. So probably 2017. So we go from that. Obviously, we get a big win for Guiseppe Jr. Great
boyhood dream. Gord had a really fun time calling this by himself. Gord was having fun all night.
He was. He was really enjoying it. And you know what? That's the thing. I would imagine that a lot of them were getting a kick out of Josh back in the ring. They're probably like, oh, there he goes. But this, I almost wasn't expecting this. This kind of gets interesting. We go backstage again, and we have. We see I'm a Belle for the first time.
Oh my goodness!
And this was a great character. I was not expecting at all. But gets into it and challenges Rusty Iron to a match. And then we sadly see Duke Winchester dry out because it's like Duke and Rayzor there back there getting into it. The match is made, but then he drives into that car of his, and it's not good. The results, we're worried about what happened once he got into that car because it didn't sound too good. Well, did we get any late updates, Truck? Can you confirm anything?
If we did, I missed it, but I don't think it's only been brought up.
30-something years. Do you think we can find out what happened?
My headcanon is that the crash, it's not him. It's him, like somebody else driving off the road.
Yeah, he had to jump out of the car. He's
fine. Because, you know, the Duke boys...
Wait. We may have footage. Hold on. Get out of there! I think we got out! He's okay! I think he made it.
I guess we have to wait until next Winter War.
Oh, there you go. Ray Strack would approve he went fast. Because Ray Strack, he wanted to go fast. Oh yeah, there was a lot of PBR being drank last night too. So, 40 years ago last night. So it was crazy. But so hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's okay. Do I see the swingman? Is that the swingman I see? If you're on the Twitch and you're a subscriber, you can use the emotes, including IPWF legend Johnny Swinger. And there is the original.
The original.
Oh, he's a young up-and-comer, Guiseppe. He never lost it. Yes, sir. So we go from that to a musical performance from DJ Too Large with the rap stylings he's going to show us. So he comes in, but then he gets interrupted by Colonel E. Corn. And he brings out Pelvis Wesley, who hits the DJ in the back with his guitar.
And the guitar doesn't break.
Does not.
And like the thonk that the guitar made. Was that a shoe guitar? Was that real?
I don't think it was a double J guitar, if you know what I mean. So it did seem a little, did they just pick up something?
Because when Pelvis hits him with it and it just, like, it doesn't break, it just stays there, he kind of looks at it for a second. Like, were you expecting this to shatter? Did something go wrong?
It did not.
Because it doesn't sound good.
No, it sounded like DJ Two Large.
In my ass.
Like, he did not like that at all. But yeah, anytime you see something not go through, like a table spot or anything like that, because I was last night at a show where Bully Ray was putting Jerry the King through a table twice, didn't break.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So it is one of those things. So same thing here. It's like when the guitar doesn't break, something wasn't done right there. Something wasn't gimmicked correctly, because that definitely hurt more than one that would have broken. There's no doubt about that. But I'm sure Moose could handle it, or DJ Two Large.
Somebody.
Yes.
Ow.
Did anybody in the chat notice that we got a rap is crap reference in 2021?
Yes. Yeah.
Rap is crap. Well, we were in Louisville, Kentucky, circa 1984. I expect nothing less. So then we get to the Four Corners bull rope match. Badlands Bart versus Hard Harry Hall, who used to be in a tag team, if you remember. But now he's a solo act. But we have not seen Badlands Bart before. So let's go Alicia on this one first. The Four Corners.
Badlands Bart, isn't he from 2005?
2003, I think.
2003. Okay. That's how things were visualized differently back then. I'm sure in their mind, we had floating cars by now.
Love the floating cars.
This was good. I did like Badlands Bart, but I would have liked to have seen a Lawrence D. I think he would have been a fine addition to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And overall, good, fun match. No complaints. Truck, what did you think?
I'm just glad to see Larry back.
Now it's multiple times, so that's a very good sign.
And this was on a special, too.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't in the pre-show. I think this is about halfway point in the card. They gave him an interesting gimmick match to do. Yeah, I'm really glad to see him back. I hope that this means that they're keeping him around for a while.
Yeah, and just because you mention it, and I'm a big Larry fan as well, but since this was all the topic for a while when we weren't seeing either of Triple XL, I did see AC last night in a match. And that's the first time I'd seen AC in a while. And AC in the match looked fine. He was in a match that went too long. I think the card got mixed up, so the match went too long. But AC and once again, it's not a comment of anything, but he looked big. He's a big boy. So sometimes it's tough to tell, but he did look bigger. So I'm not sure. I know he's been doing some indies lately, but I don't know. The problem is, and I don't know if this was thinking of it, if you look at Jonah, very similar frame to the AC. So it's almost tough to have both those guys on TV at the same time, at least in my mind. They have a similar look unless they're a team. So I don't know if that played into it. I don't know what, but obviously he's the one that requested to get out of his own deal. So it wasn't even Impact that made that decision. So, but hopefully for him, obviously he has plans going forward. If it's indie, if it's another promotion, but for Impact,
wish him the best. Yeah,
wish him the best, and hopefully for Impact, obviously Lawrence D. I think we're all big fans of Lawrence.
Hell yeah!
Whether did Larry have Havok's mask?
He might have borrowed one from her. Did it light up? I didn't notice if it lit up.
It didn't look like one that I recognized. It was like the exact same style. So, and I'm assuming that she's got multiple in her closet.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been one, maybe a demo.
It was really elaborate. And I can't imagine that he bought that for a one-off. So
probably not. Probably not. So, all right. So let's go. So,
the finish to the bull rope match was really good too. It was really neat what they came up with to finish it.
Yeah. So Hall touches all four. The win. But yeah, it drives him around. Definitely a good to see. Hard Harry Hall, i.e., Jake something, come out victorious here. But then we get what was one of my just because of some people we like here. One of my favorites of the night. I'm a Belle versus Rusty Iron. Obviously not a hugely long match, but technically the first time we got to see the Rusty Iron in a match, or Gia Miller, and against one of the greats in
Wrestler of the Year 2020.
Yes, Wrestler of the Year, Knockout of the Year, and Gia Miller gets the match here on this special, and this was enjoyable. I like this. I thought it's obviously much different. It allowed her to play. It was almost like she was playing Gia in a way. I'm a Belle, like an 80s version of Gia.
I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
Like, I always wonder if that's what they're going to be like. I'm going to play you a little bit. But, and then just kudos to Deonna for wrestling in that gear.
In that
I was going to say, if you ever wanted any proof that Deonna Purrazzo was like the best in the world, look at her wrestling in a full-length gown.
With the hoops, too.
Yeah. With the hoops,
yeah. There were their hoops. So that was, what did you think of this, Alicia?
I thought it was just fun. It was good to see Gia in the ring, and she did really well.
Yep.
You know, she sold really well. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell me otherwise to think that she hasn't been that long in the ring. She looked really comfortable, especially against Deonna.
And there, see, I thought Rusty Iron was Chelsea. So that just shows you. They did good jobs where there is debate on some of these people on who they were.
Yeah. For sure.
Any other thoughts on this one, Truck?
I thought it was fantastic. I was so happy to see Gia get her in-ring debut. And on her gimmick, too, the Rusty Iron thing, she was so good at it. She owned it. Like, even right when she came out with Ace, she looked and felt so confident. I hope she thinks about making this an actual thing that she builds around. Because what I'm familiar with,
she's been doing that on the indies a little bit. Not obviously this exact gimmick, but she's been kind of like the valet, kind of like in the veins of Sherry or Francine, like that type of valet.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, like the nasty. I'll do something. Like if you saw the Revolver show. Where Ace won the title there. She was doing a lot at ringside to help him get that victory. So you could see that. Maybe depending on what happens. If sadly Steve needs to be on the shelf for a little bit, we know he could do backstage interviewing after this.
That'd be great.
So it would be great, yeah.
He did so well.
Yeah. And at some point somebody else has to do it.
Yeah, he did great. So he has a future in this business as long as he wants to do something like that. But no, she definitely showed she can go in the ring, and and I think she could be obviously a great valet, which obviously I guess maybe it's just the era we all came up in wrestling in. I think is still a great thing in the business, which almost doesn't exist anymore though. That's almost gone away.
Yes.
But I think the valet and manager, which has gone away dramatically. But that just shows you when you get these throwbacks, how important those were to wrestling, but for some reason they weren't.
How useful, how many things you could do with them too. Yeah.
True.
And this,
so if anything, maybe that makes Scott and company think maybe we should do that a little more.
Yeah. And this Rusty Iron character has so much personality that, I think that of the two between, if you think of Gia Miller as a personality of the two, I would want to go with Rusty.
But we do get some revenge now. The tracheometry worked thanks to Orderly Ross. After the Belle, Rusty Iron rip, they go after I'm a Belle. Frank the Butcher makes the save.
Makes his bloody return.
With a
tracheotomy tube in hand.
With the tube.
Yeah, he's got the knife in one hand and the tube in the other.
The Butcher, yeah.
So just yank the tube out, Rusty. I mean, that's the weak
1984,
point.
Man.
That was good stuff, man. Doesn't get better than that.
That's fun.
So then we get Now this is interesting because we heard earlier that Tim Burr was going to go against a 7-footer. We didn't know who it would be, but it's Eric the Redwood against Tim Burr here. This is a big one.
Literally
a big one. So as he would say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, Tim Burr. So let's get obviously you got the Canadian strongman in this match. Truck, what did you think of Tim Burr versus Eric the Redwood?
Watching Josh treat that axe so disrespectfully had me worried at a few points. I would not have wanted. I'm glad I wasn't sitting in the front row. It's like he's in the ring and he's swinging around like, man, the heads on those things are heavy, and if your hands are slippery, it's going flying. The hafts are slick. They're not gripped. They're not ribbed.
So we could have had orderly Ross could have been busy.
Shit could have got real fast.
yeah.
This proves that elderly abuse in this country is at an all-time high, but it looks like so much fun.
Wow. Well, that's a statement.
Well, now it was a statement from way back where, according to us, we're all the elderly now. But Alicia, what did you think of this?
Thanks for reminding me, Bill.
Yeah, for Tim Burr, which I did see in footage today, and I didn't realize it watching it. He reenacted the Hogan Slam on Andre pretty much.
And
I guess Jade put that out there in the leg drop. So I guess I should have thought of that with the leg drop, but when they kind of put the videos near each other, it's like, oh yeah, that's like exactly it. How about that?
And he even does the thing earlier on when he tries to slam him, but his back gives out. Oh,
my back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. Tim should have had gloves on. Oh.
Yes, you have to wear gloves when you're using those ones.
Oh, yeah.
With the wood handles, they're terrible.
Can't believe Impact's doctor was an orderly. But obviously, this is a big one. To Tim Burr's the guy at the IPWF.
He's got to be number one contender at this point.
Yeah, he's got to be number one contender for that belt at this point. Yeah. Feels like it's years in the making.
Decades.
Decades. But another good, entertaining match here, no doubt about it. And that's a big man there. That's a big man. Eric the Redwood, he was able to take out. So we do see another. We haven't seen him, I guess. Oh no, we've seen him in other roles. But he used to come out with Congo Kong. That's the $300,000 man, but now he's a $237,000 man. With Wanda the Werewoman.
Not a werewolf.
Yeah, werewoman. Who is Savannah Evans, who's going to be taking on Jazzy Fitbody, the Madison Rain.
Who Guiseppe was really into.
Oh, Giuseppe need to settle down.
Like phone HR kind of into.
Yeah, he was. I don't know how HR was in 1984, but it was getting a little dicey for Giuseppe Jr. there. He was getting a little wild there on commentary. The backstage segment where we got headed families. Kevin Martin.
He's on.
Kevin Martin, I think his first speaking role.
Speaking role, but he's appeared.
He's appeared plenty of times.
Appeared.
But I think, but he actually got a speaking role. You're right. We undercut that segment when we talked about it. We did not talk the ending with Kevin Martin. Kudos to Kevin. And obviously Dr. Snow. Great Dr. Snow. That was entertaining. So let's go to the next match. Let's make sure I got everything. Oh, no, we didn't get. Let's get the finish there. Over. We get a DQ here in this match, which is funny because we do get an earlier cellular phone spot, but then the werewoman bites Jazzy in the neck to cause a DQ, so Jazzy gets to win by DQ. But I guess I don't know if I was expecting to get Savannah in this, so it was good to see another character once again. Because we knew we'd see Jazzy Fitbody again. That was a must. And she's great in that role.
The crowd was counting along with her when she was doing sit-ups. I love that.
Yes. Oh yeah, and the Thriller. And she tried to do the Thriller dance.
Yeah, she tried to get the Werewoman. She tried to get Wanda to do the Thriller with her.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's cute. I love
choose
Madison.
to believe that Madison didn't have to get anything for this outfit. I choose to believe that she still has all this stuff, warmers and all.
She probably does. Well, remember, I think they came back at some point.
For a season. For a hot minute.
Maybe she has them from there. But let me see. Since somebody made the reference here, do we still have this, or did it go away? Oh, it might not be in the. I don't know, hard to believe it's gone. Oh no, here it is. This is a guy that had that cell phone.
Yeah, this is horrible.
There you go. Because he had the old phone there too. Much later. So so we go from that to now. This is interesting. So just like we had the Talking Shop Boys earlier, we'll have the main event. We get the debut here of the Stomp in Paradise, G.I. Broski and Brian Bone Crunchin versus the Russians, who we had the Russians before. But the great thing about this, and it's very true to the gimmick, is two different guys are now the Russians than before. They were the Russians last time.
That's amazing.
So you have Stalingrad Strangler and Sergei the Siberian. And obviously these Russians this time are Man Fulton and Tony Gunn.
That's cool. I don't know who that is.
Well, Tony Gunn was, and I'd have to go back to see exactly what they called it, but he was like signed, or he was part of the gut check when it came back, like one of the gut checks, I think, before Jackson Stones won. And they were supposedly they had brought him in, but then he never really appeared. So he's been in OVW most of the time. He's worked. You've seen him as security. He's been as security for some of the Impact shows. But cool. It was good to see him. Yeah, Tony Gunn was on Gut Check. So thank you, Packed Eagles. So Justin. So Man was the one, and there was a local guy, right, from last time. So they mixed one. They kept one Russian and mixed the other one. The Russians. So, but once again, what you thought? Stomp obviously was going to have a big run here because they're pretty much the PBR guys. But what did you think of the Stomp guys versus the Russians?
I have several thoughts. Okay. I love the Super Soakers. I'm pretty sure I had the one that Cardona was using, or at least that was based on a replica of it. I really wish that they'd used the Soviet national anthem for the Russians, because who's going to see you if you're using it now? That would have been great. What does Stomp mean? I've asked on Twitter and I keep getting different responses. Does it actually mean anything?
It is. It has periods in it, so it should stand for something. I can't tell you that I know it off the top of my head, though. If anyone in the chat knows,
anybody in the chat,
the Stomp. Any of the major wrestling fig pod guys, I'm sure they would know off the top of their heads. But what is the Stomp stand for?
Is this one of their gimmicks? Because I know they do a lot of stuff together, but I've never actually seen them work together. Yeah,
they did a commercial in this gimmick before. They've done Pro Wrestling Pro Brawlers in this gimmick. So, but I can't speak to a lot of it because I'm sure that's they have their own little world. They have their own universe of this stuff. All right. Yes, liberty and justice, except for the commies. There you go. But
they do get the win. Was happy with the amount of ring time they got too.
Oh, they got. I'll tell you, whatever money they paid, they got it tenfold in this because the references were nuts. They were nuts.
And they were in the finish too.
They were in the finish. They were everywhere though. And you know what? Good. I'm glad to see. I remember when they did the one. What what was it? Was it Corona beer? Was it like back up in Canada, they had a sponsor briefly for like a set of tapings. But this one feels maybe it will go beyond this, because I know PBR is getting heavily involved in wrestling right now. For
whatever reason.
Yeah, they're getting hey. They see something, they get something on social media, they go for it. So monetize it, Impact, do whatever you can.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
keep going with it. So obviously we get the Stomp Boys win this one over the. I don't know if we'll ever see the Russians win on an IPWF show, which is how it should be. All right, now let's go get through the rest of the card here. Then we get highlights from the empty arena match where Sex Ferguson defeated Downtown Daddy Brown because he can't challenge for the International Commonwealth Television title.
I love that name.
As we lead into the main event, which is a North Pole street fight for that very same title, with champion Sex Ferguson against Santa Claus. And this one is quite the match here.
A barn burner.
It is a barn burner, and it is, as you just said, Truck, start us off, because you did just allude to the finish with the PBR. So let's get into this match.
I really enjoyed it. It was a decent combination of actual wrestling and ridiculous gimmick shit. Like at one point, Sex winds up with a horse head mask on, and Santa Claus is riding him around the ring.
Wow.
So it was fun. It was a fun show. It was like, the best of the shitty indies. That's what I want to describe it as. I really enjoyed it.
When did Sex Ferguson lose his shoes?
He took them off himself because it was a loaded boot. It was a loaded boot, and he's going to hit Santa Claus with them, and he misses. And somehow he loses his other boot. So Santa Claus has a boot, one of Sex's boots, and Sex has the other boot, and they knock each other out. So we almost got a double count out finish.
Double knockout. Oh yeah. It was close. I also like the part where Sex looked like he was about to hit Santa Claus with the can, but he kept hesitating, and then he opened it up and started like baby sipping it and talking to it. Like it was good character play. This was very clever and awesome of everybody. So this was great.
And I just realized, Alicia, that was another way to put the sponsor over. Because at the beginning, Sex is calling it near beer. And at the end of it, it's won him over. It's charmed him. And really, it's the reason he lost his title.
They did to you. It's crazy.
It's good stuff.
Stop pointing that out, Bill. Come on. First, you remind me how old I am.
I love my PBRs, man. There's nothing like going to the bar and buying $2 tall boys.
Absolutely.
Very affordable, just like Impact Wrestling.
That's my camping beer, dude.
Yes, absolutely. My camping beer is called Mountain Crest. You can only get it in Southern Alberta. So
okay, cool. That's cool.
Mountain Crest.
Yeah.
Oh no, it sounds delicious.
It is delicious. It has to be ice cold. You can only have it in summer. Yeah.
Is that our Natty Light?
I hope that it's better than that. We have that up here too.
From a mountain spring.
Yeah. It used to. I don't know if they still do this, but this used to be like the cheap $1 college beer.
Well, that's what. Natty Light.
That's Natty.
Yeah. The gimmick used to be that if you bought a case, it would come with
some
bag of chips.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's worth it.
It was. You could either have a hat or a bag of chips, but everybody always got the bag of chips.
I would have got the hat. I would have got the hat. Were the chips any good?
The chips were good. The marketing for it was that it's damn good beer. So when you got the chips, it says damn good chips on the bag, and they were good.
You know what? I see why people pick the chips, though. How do you pass up something called damn good chips? It's like hell of a good dip. Like it says right there on the label, it's it's damn good. Natty. Well, when you're drunk on Natty, I mean, whatever. Or Mountain Crest?
Mountain Crest.
Mountain Crest.
That's great name. Great name.
The next time Impact comes to Toronto, I'll get a couple cases and I'll fly out. and I'll share
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. There we go. You can bring it to my hotel over to strip club. We'll be set.
It's amazing.
We'll hang out. Maybe Sex Ferguson will stop by. You never know. But
He's won me over.
He's won
He's
you
won
over.
me over.
And
I'll give him a 6-pack. I'll give him
All
a
right.
case. He probably wants a case. He's a big guy.
He's a big dude.
I'll give him a 2-4.
But-
You tell him that, actually.
There you go. All right.
There you go.
I like that.
Get him a cube.
So in stone cold fashion, he hits that Santa hits that stunner. Someone's going to use that someday, I feel. But so he wins. He's the champ. Santa Claus champ. But it's revealed after the match. He removed that mask. I had no clue. It was Downtown Daddy Brown all along.
Swerved.
Swerved.
I
So
never
for the
would have
second-
seen it
His
coming.
mustache poking out.
The second throwdown in a row, we leave with Downtown Daddy Brown as champion. The boys, and they come out from the locker room.
All the faces.
And it's just a party to end the night.
It's a
What
PBR
night.
party in the
It's
ring.
a PBR party. So another enjoyable throwback experience, no doubt. Final thoughts. Anyone with final thoughts on this IPWF spectacular?
I loved it, and I'm really excited for the next one.
So we wanted to, so that's a vote. Back next year. We want to see what
Yeah.
happens in 1985.
It's got to be our holiday special, I feel like.
I think
Yeah,
it's a
that and
great way to
Wrestle
end the
House.
year. Yeah.
That Wrestle House, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to end the year. Yes, holiday time, everybody's got a lot of stuff going on. I'm not going to make a lot of time to watch wrestling. So you don't want to have your really big angles, in my opinion, happening right now. Stuff
I
like
agree.
this is fun.
Fun. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a hot take, because there's a lot of people that, for some reason, it's crazy. Because this isn't an Impact thing. This is just a wrestling. This is a TV thing.
Yeah,
Nobody watches
yeah.
anything around the holidays. If you
No.
haven't seen what the ratings are, like maybe they'll watch live sports. That's about it. Nobody's watching anything. So if you put major programming around now, people are just going to miss it.
You're not going to have an
Yeah,
audience.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes sense. Everybody's busy, yo. That's why everything's pre-recorded.
If they do keep doing it, I want them to keep doing this thing, though, where Downtown Daddy Brown loses his title off camera, and by the end of the episode has it back. I don't care.
Yeah.
Whenever Willie moves on from Impact, they have to bring him back.
Have to
just
do
for
it,
that.
yeah.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
I'm
And-
okay
and-
with this.
And credit to Willie, because we don't give Willie probably enough credit for he shines in things like this.
Willie's awesome.
I was a Willie guy in Lucha Underground, so I remember what he can do, and I wish he would get more attention and space in Impact.
Agreed.
Yeah, and this is perfect for this time of year. It's a good distraction, especially with everything going on out there. Hopefully, this
Year 3
brought a
of
little
COVID. Buckle
laughter
up,
and
everybody.
joy. Yeah, this normally Impact's just fun regardless, but this is this is different kind of fun. This is like just pure entertainment fun. So kudos to everybody. Obviously, everyone that worked the show, but from the producers in the back, people that were writing this, like the RDs, obviously Kevin Martin with his stuff. Like there, a lot of people involved in pulling off a show like this, and everybody at OVW, I'm sure, played a hand in this. Keep bringing it back, and that's the one thing Critical Sting here points out. How about if Ziggy Dice and Inspiration possibly in next, like a guy like Ziggy Dice would be
Oh,
so
he'd fit right
great
in.
on a show like this.
Yeah, he
Like
would
it's
eat it
almost,
up.
it almost feels like it was just maybe too tight of a window for him to get involved in this one. But man, he needs to be in the next one. He could steal the show for sure.
And when was the last time we saw Moose smile? It was so weird seeing him come out and in a good mood and smiling. I haven't
Yeah, it
seen
was a
that in
different
couple
type of
years
show.
now.
It was a different type of show. Because I had seen him. I saw Moose the previous week when he once again Jonah locally in a match, and like he was kind of like it's but once again it was like in a smiling way. It's not like your regular show. It's like a whole different thing. And like for him, he wasn't really even in a match. Like he was just going to be, he was in a segment. But for him, he just gets to have fun and sort of get the night off in a lot of ways, other than taking a guitar that doesn't hit.
Thunk.
The thud guitar.
Next time you see him, ask him about that guitar because I want to know.
Yeah, we'll have to find out a little bit more about that. Well, I guess it probably will be during the Hard to Kill. So, but as we're getting to that, because this is the family dinner, we pretty much covered IPWF. If there are any questions, any of the weekly questions, anyone wants to bring to the table, any topics, we'll maybe knock that out. And let's see, we're almost at an hour and a half, maybe over the next 10, 15 minutes. And depending on where it's going, we'll see. Because obviously with the holidays coming up, can't really tell you what the schedule might look like. There might be a show. There might be some shows. We talked about maybe doing the charity Twitch stream again. Doing that. We're talking about for possibly Jimmy Rave's benefit for the stuff going on there. So we probably will do that maybe after Christmas and before New Year's, but no set schedule. We'll obviously let you guys know anything else that comes up. But I know it gets crazy around the holidays, so it'll be definitely limited crew. But definitely any questions, get them in there now. We'll try to get some answers, and then we'll go from there. Let's see. Well, since we were talking about the show here, what Morrissey thought about doing this when he was asked. Well, that is interesting because as everyone thought, well, he's a free agent, he might not be under contract, but yet he was in this show. If that doesn't make you think he's not going anywhere, I don't know what does. So, and anybody thought it seems like this just is another sign that he's either officially locked up or that's the direction it's going. Because why would he be in this? If it's like a pay per appearance to do IPWF, I can't imagine him doing that.
Yeah, on a special, why would they give such a prominent spot to somebody who's not sticking around for an extended period, or somebody who doesn't have a long history with the company and people are going to be excited to see? I really hope he's sticking around throughout the next year. I can definitely see him as being somebody in the short line for the title.
No, I'm agreeing. What, Alicia, any thoughts about Morrissey? Do you think that was a sign, him being on IPWF, that he's sticking around or not?
Yeah. Was there talk that he's not? I'm confused by the question.
Yeah, a lot of the dirt sheets where the fake wrestling news was running that, his contract, his short-term contract or whatever was out, so he wasn't going to be around much longer. But then he was booked for Hard to Kill, which they weren't expecting. And then he showed up here. So all these signs seem to point of him not going anywhere. So I think you're under the idea he's not going anywhere.
I don't think he's going anywhere, especially because I'm predicting it that he's going to end up swooping the belt out from under Cardona and Moose. So I think they have got big plans for him.
Yeah.
So you think he's winning the belt at Hard to Kill?
I can see that.
I think it's very much possible. I think the odds are in his favor. Think about it. He's been playing it cool, not even breaking a sweat, while these other two are literally driving each other insane. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And he's just going to swoop in there. It's still a triple threat as far as I know, right?
It is, yeah.
Yep,
so, yeah, I think Morrissey's in high favor of taking that. I know it'll be a short run for Moose, but there's plans.
It might be back and forth, too. That wouldn't necessarily
hot potato
me.
it, that's fine.
Yeah. And I think that they're putting a lot of effort into keeping Josh out of the title scene. And I don't think that's going to end at Hard to Kill.
No.
Okay. No, I definitely see that. And then this goes right in the Critical Sting asking, do you think Cardona turns heel at Hard to Kill?
Yes.
Here you go, yes. Now, Truck, I think you might go no on that.
Because Chelsea is, too.
Do they interact much in Impact, though? Like, are they really seen? Maybe. I would find it tough to see because, the other two guys are both supposed to be heels, but then Morrissey's getting over as a fan favorite, so hell, I don't know. Cardona's doing such interesting stuff as a heel everywhere else. If he wants to be a heel in Impact, I would love to see it.
Yeah, it all depends on... I don't think he turns heel if they're really considering putting the title on him. I get him as a heel if they're not going to put the title on him. Because I think the reason you'd put him as champion is because he's so popular. And I mean, when I mean popular, I mean popular more as a mainstream guy than like I think his heel character work is awesome, but I don't think that's like, if you think he could be a needle mover as a face champion with all of his people like buying merch, he doesn't do that as well as a heel as he does a face. So if they're thinking like, you know what, we want to go down that road, then I think they keep him face. Because there's a reason he's been heel for a year everywhere but Impact.
Yes, that's true. And, you know, to plug the NWA TNA throwback reviews that you guys do, something else that you pointed out that's kind of stuck with me, that during this transition when TNA was moving to their TV spot, they started setting themselves up to put Jarrett back as their champion. And the reason you do that is because Jeff Jarrett's the name everybody knows. You know, Chris Harris, you know, if you've been watching NWA TNA, you're really hyped to see him as champ. But if this is a completely new thing to him, to an audience, you know, Jeff Jarrett, you know who that is. Chris Harris, not so much. Jarrett might get you to tune in. So maybe, Cardona is the guy that you want to put the belt on. I mean, really, whatever the outcome is, I'm probably going to be happy with it because I think all three of these guys could be great champs.
Agreed.
No, that is always a debate you have with a promotion in the business is how do you do your booking like that? Are you doing it for possible TV ratings? Are you doing it for the locker room? What's going into it here? Like, will it matter? So that is something to consider. I don't know. It feels like right now Impact is beholden to Access TV's distribution. It can go up. We saw with Kenny. It can go up from like here to here. It can drop to here. Like Cardona could make it go to probably about the same Kenny range at best, probably, but probably not much more than that. So do you blow up plans you had for either Moose or Morrissey to do that? I don't think that should determine it, but you think about it for sure. Now, I do see here a comment from Kill Steel was at IPWF last night. And because you say that, Kill Steel, there was a TNI shirt in the crowd, the black shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees with the mic, the mic on fire. Was that you, Kill Steel, or were you there? Would we have noticed you? And if for some reason the person that was wearing that shirt is not here right now and watches this later and wants to throw in that they were there, please let us know that you were repping TNI way back in the day.
40 years ago. Remind us again, Bill.
It was Kill Steel.
Confirmed.
Thank you, Kill Steel. Thank you for definitely repping the TNI brand. We appreciate it.
It's awesome.
We all noticed it. I saw everybody in the Discord mentioning it, whether they were like, hey! So we appreciate that very much.
And if anybody listening wants their own TNI shirt, there's lots of fantastic designs that you can customize in a variety of colors.
Yes,
over on the TNI Spreadshirt store.
Yeah, you can go to the Spreadshirt store for all the customization, or you can get one of the standard ones at Pro Wrestling Tees. So definitely check that out. Let's see. I do see Ronan Blue here mentioning that Impact's about to sell out Hard to Kill any day. I think they need to probably do a heavy push for TV the following day. But it looks like the pay-per-view's in pretty good hands. But talking about the next day, I did see this story, and it kind of leans into it. Do you guys think, from Ronan, do you think Deonna wins 3 belts if Roxy goes to WWE? I did hear she was at a tryout at the Performance Center, which could turn into something. May not, but could. Wish her the best. But I do think we know that it was going to be Deonna versus Roxy at Impact. She's from Texas. I got to imagine that's going to be the day after Hard to Kill, that match. For TV, for the next monthly special, don't know. But I think the match will happen there. And honestly, depending on... Hopefully Impact has the interest, because I think Roxy would be a definitely a good addition to the Knockouts division. But that's where I think any opinions on Roxy right now. Like she just came back. She posted all about it, that she was at a tryout there. But we know a lot. Like obviously Deonna came from there. Tessa, when she was here the first time, she had done the tryouts. So a lot of people do the tryouts. It all depends. Like if anything, they're putting these names in their Rolodex for later. But what are the thoughts on it? We know Roxy is showing up likely, unless they want to sign her right now and take her off the market after all that promotion. But I think she'll make it at least these couple of weeks to get the hard to kill in the tapings. So Alicia, the truck, go ahead.
Alicia, what did you want to share?
I wasn't going to share anything.
Okay, sorry, I didn't want to speak over top of you. Personally, I really want Roxy in Impact. What I saw from her in ROH, the talent that this woman has at 20, she's going to be fantastic just as she gets more seasoned. I know that Deonna is really high on her, and I would have to guess that on a personal level, they're having those conversations in private about this is what my experience was like when I was working there. Be prepared. You hear very few stories about people being happy working for WWE. As somebody on the outside, I can't imagine it would be the first place you would want to go. When you look at what a company like Impact is doing, where you're putting the women on the card multiple times, every card, sometimes main eventing. So, yeah. I would be very glad to see Deonna take that belt, though. Deonna 3 belts, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And I think on ROH's side, it might be a good idea to do that because Deonna is so high profile. You could have her going around defending the belt, and that could be a pretty good draw. But again,
that will
that's a
be
business
interesting
decision I have nothing about.
No matter what, we see Deonna as Ring of Honor champion in Impact Wrestling. Like her winning the belt, because that would kind of come full circle with like Christian won the Impact title on AEW.
Exactly.
So for Deonna to win the ROH title in Impact, that does make everything kind of you can anything can happen on any show. Then it really does make that a possibility. Yeah. So and it looks like that's how it could play out for sure, based on everything going on. Because if Roxy could either be coming full time to Impact or to WWE, it sounds like she's not going to be Ring of Honor in April if they come back. So it sounds like the belt probably does change hands at some point. So we'll see if that happens in Texas. So let me just see if we have any other. It looks like maybe we'll end here with Critical Sting. Any chance we see Gail versus Maria 2 as managers of the Knockout division? So I guess the whole is Maria Kanellis going to be showing back up at Impact, and could that get into anything with Gail Kim? Any thoughts on that? On Maria Kanellis maybe returning and getting involved with Gail, who's now appears to have more of an on-screen role going forward. Alicia,
nah. Not the way you guys would think, like in a match wise or anything, but if anything, butting heads definitely, because they played back and forth off of each other really well.
How about you, John?
Gail is really stressed that she's done in ring, eh? She's not doing it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And let me just see anything else.
Kill Steele. Don't encourage Trent.
Turd heel. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that heel turd. And then I did see, speaking of that, that what Gresham and Terminus is going to have the digital media title defended at that show. So that's
interesting. He's got a connection.
Which they referred to as a print media title during IPWF, which was very, very funny. Oh, and then T. Hughes, maybe as lockdown teams, Gail versus Maria. It's going to be interesting to see where Mike and Maria end up. So definitely something to stay tuned about. So obviously anybody else can always contact us through the social media at We Talk Impact. Hop on the Discord. Conversation's always going on down in the description. Jump in there. And if anyone has any last thoughts, but if not, let's go over where everyone can find you guys. Alicia.
You can find me under the handle Alicia B. Cakey on Twitter and Instagram, and lurking in the Discord.
There you go.
The
Truck.
Instagrams.
Where can they find
I forget
you?
that you're on the Discord. Yeah, you pop up every once in a while. Like, all right, Alicia's here. How are you doing? You can find
Lurking.
me lurking. You can find me on the Twitter at truck_rockpeck, and the Discord quite active. We got a lot of community streams every week, so come check her out.
There you go. You can find me and my name, William M. Gardner, on the mainly the Twitter, maybe someday the Instagram. I am taking some days off from work with the holidays, so who knows? Maybe that'll be some time to get to some of that stuff because not many shows going on, so that will be fine. Obviously, you can find us wherever you find your podcasts, on Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, all those fantastic places. As Truck mentioned previously, Pro Wrestling Tees, Total Nonstop Impact. Same thing with the Spreadshirt. You can definitely find there. And the Patreon. Definitely, normally what we do on Sunday night is a Patreon-only show, and it's the family dinner. So this was a free version with the holidays. Our gift to you is going over this fantastic Pack Plus special, as well as going over some topics right now. But that's normally what you just saw the last 30 minutes was normally the whole show that we do on Sunday nights. You bring the questions, we answer them, and we do that every Sunday night. Then we usually have the throwbacks every Tuesday. Thanks to Truck, who does a lot of the NWA, TNA. He streams them in the Discord. So once again, no excuses not to watch. You can watch the old throwback, just like we did tonight. If you like throwbacks, you can watch them from 2004 right now. We're coming down to the end, though. We got about, maybe less than 15 and probably at this point. So we'll see what happens after that, but definitely check those out. Wednesday, you got the TNI UK guys. You saw Lord Bison in here earlier. They'll be going over the previous show, previewing next week's. And then Thursday, normally the flagship. Best of's coming up this week, so undetermined how we're dealing with that. They will be going over the knockout of the year, superstar of the year, all that type of stuff. Maybe we'll do some type of catch up on all the award winners instead. We'll figure that out and let everybody know how we're dealing with that. But that's about it. So we will see you when we see you. Undetermined yet, but I think I got to find out from Trent. I think he's still rocking to some Metallica in San Francisco. So hopefully safe travels on the way back. J-Bone just took a night off. Hopefully everything's going well with the Bone Man. And we'll be seeing all you guys later. So thanks everybody for tuning in. And we will be seeing you, well, sometime. Maybe, definitely before the year's out. Undetermined when, but before the year's over, we will be seeing you.
Good night, everybody.
See you later.